So welcome back to my channel. In my last video, the past two videos that I've done kind of in this series, the first video I talked about what is a smart contract. Then the next video I did, which I just published a while back, was what is a Dapp, decentralized app. And today we're going to talk about one of the Dapps that I mentioned, but I think is probably one of the best Dapps that exist. And I'm not the only one to think that there's proof of this, by the way. This Dapp is highly rated. If you come over here to Dapp radar, let's see, just come to all the Dapps. This is how we do it. Let's see. Dapp radar, total Dapps. Export all Dapps, here we go. This should do it. And if you just look at balance, this is the amount of Ethereum that is in the particular Dapp. So here we go. 46,000. Proof of Weekends 3D, P3D, 40,000 Ethereum. So you just do the math on that. What's Ethereum at right now? Almost $300. So 300 times 40 is at 1.2 million. 40,000. Yep, about just under 1.2 million dollars currently in this Dapp. It is the second highest Dapp based off of the amount of Ethereum in the contract. So based off volume, it's a bit lower, obviously. This is daily volume, which I think shows a lot of stability in the contract as well. However, this has been as high as 80,000 Ethereum in the contract, just so you know. That's been the high. So what is Proof of Weekends? Let's talk about that a little bit. Here's the website, powh.io. You can come to the wiki. I'm not going to go through all this, but just to show you a little bit about Proof of Weekends 3D and why I think it's probably one of the best Dapps that there currently are on the Ethereum blockchain for sure. First of all, let me just say this. It is as I said before, it is a working project, working proof of concept. There's already, this isn't what they're hoping to create. They already have something in place. Now what they're looking to create is further mass adoption. And some of this is already taking place now, and I'll get to that a little bit later in this video. But here is just kind of some feedback. By the way, if you go to powh.io and go to wiki, you can read all through this, do all of your research on this. But here is just briefly, what is Proof of Weekends 3D? Proof of Weekends 3D, it's also called P3D by the way, is a unique cryptocurrency exchange which allows you to trade Ethereum for P3D tokens. P3D tokens are tokens with a clever twist. Every P3D holder receives direct earnings in Ethereum every time that anyone else buys, sells, or trades a token based on the amount of tokens in percent out of the total amount minted held. This means that as soon as you hold P3D tokens, you are continuously accumulating free Ethereum distributed to you on every transaction based on the amount of P3D tokens that you hold on the exchange. This exchange and tokens is made better by the fact that the entire system is powered by an open source Ethereum smart contract, ensuring transparency, security, and trust. So just to recap this, there's a 10% fee that is paid for everyone who buys and sells the token or transfers the token. There's a 10% fee. The fee doesn't go to an exchange like on Coinbase or something else. The fee goes to all other token holders, and it's divided based off of it's a smaller. The 10% is divided among all tokens. So the more tokens that you have, the more you get, so to speak, the more that you're holding. And you can buy and sell tokens at any point in time. It's all on the blockchain. It's an open source Ethereum smart contract. Now, let's come here to the beginner's guide. And again, you could go through that entire page there, but the beginner's guide is very helpful in giving us a recap. So, can I trust the project? All we ask is that you keep a skeptical but open mind and do your own research. You probably have a lot of questions. Start here for answers to common concerns. The best part of this exchange is you don't have to trust anyone except the Ethereum network itself to participate. Still curious to understand if the smart contract is legit? Check out, and you can come here and check this out for yourself. This is a video review that a Solidity developer did on YouTube, and he basically went through every line of the code. Remember, it's open source, which means that anyone can read it, and he literally explained every line of the code. Let's see. Tells you how to get started. This is good. Why would I want to participate in this and purchase P3D tokens? This is a unique exchange that works differently from any other that you've ever visited. By the way, for transparency, this is not investment advice. However, I do own quite a few P3D tokens, and I'm buying more all the time. You'll want to participate in this because Ethereum earnings. Holding on to P3D tokens means that you're continuously being distributed free Ethereum every single time any other user of the exchange buys, sells, or transfers P3D tokens. Many holders often report earning between 0.05% to 2% of their holdings on a daily basis. I'll tell you that I would say it ranges even more than that, 0.01% to as high as 4 and 5% that I've gotten on some days, maybe as high as 6%. It's ranged a lot. I did see at one point in time there was a statistic that I could find that showed that on average over the entire holding period they were averaging about 0.49, so just under 0.5% per day. I don't know if that's going to hold. That's not meant as a projection. That's just what they've earned so far in earnings. This is true. This number fluctuates heavily based on transactional volume. Fair. There was no pre-mine for P3D developers, and this is important. So what a lot of people do is for ICOs and whatnot, they'll do a pre-mine for a coin, and let's just, whatever the next ICO is, and they will keep, say, 30%, 50%, 60%, 20% of the coins themselves. They'll sell the rest. And what that does is it raises money by all the ones they sell, and then all the coins they're holding are carrying a value as well. And it gives them a chance to be able to sell coins later. Some people don't like this because it creates kind of a centralized, if they hold too many coins, it creates a lot of centralization. However, the way they did P3D was developers and contributors purchase a small amount, 1 ETH each, and no additional pre-mine of coins. The distribution of the tokens is incredibly even. This is important to see. When you talk about decentralization, this is important. The top 100 holders collectively own 57%. That's the top 100 holders. There's a total of 16,000 token holders. So this isn't like 50% is being held by one person. And by the way, just to give you, I don't want to give away too much of my personal information. I have less than $10,000 in tokens. I think maybe less than $20,000 in tokens. I guess I have to go back and look at that. But I definitely have less than $20,000 in tokens. I'm not in the top 100, but I'm probably pretty close to the top 200. So, and I'll just leave it there. So what I'm saying is this 100 tokens, from 1 to the 100th person, there's a wide range here. And total, they own 57%. In contrast, there's plenty of ICOs where the founders own 40 or 50%, and it's just 1 or 2 people that own 40 or 50% of the total ICO. So as far as I know, this is one of the most decentralized projects out there. Everyone has the same chance to buy, and everyone gets earnings only according to their P3D holdings. There's no developer fee. For all proof, the Ethereum you enter into the system isn't being held by any person or group. Again, it's decentralized. The Ethereum in the exchange is handled only by a production open source Ethereum smart contract. Contracts are immutable, and this means that there's no owner who could decide they wanted to keep the Ethereum for themselves, i.e. exit scam or run away with the money. Transparent. You can see the full source code for the contract. Managing this exchange. The rules of the exchange are clearly posted. No promises are being made. There is a clear culture of honesty and transparency among the community, and above all by the admins and developers. Decentralized. The entire exchange backend is powered by a smart contract which lives on the Ethereum blockchain and is owned by no one. If the site goes down, the contract can always be accessed by alternate front ends. The contract simply operates according to the rules that are fair and can't be changed, just like we mentioned in our video about smart contracts. active. There is already a large community around the project. Many users in a supportive community join the Discord chat. I highly recommend, if you're doing your research, if you find this whole project interesting, definitely check out the Discord chat. Use the help desk. Someone will be there. I've gotten help many times before with questions. They're very accommodating, very helpful community. If you have any questions, just come to say hello. Many people are committed to the success of this project. Okay. All right. And you can come here and read this whole, I don't want to read the whole page to you, but you can come here and read it. Now, here is what's fascinating about proof of weekends. So here's a video I did a while back, and I'll link it at the end of this video. You'll see it show up on the screen. But I talked about the future of smart contracts, and I'm talking about P3D. So P3D, every time that you buy or sell the token, there's a 10% fee that gets distributed to other P3D holders. So the question comes into, why would someone want to buy or sell the token outside of speculation? Well, in this video, I gave some examples of games and crowdfunding and exchanges and marketplaces and various business transactions, funding purchase orders, lending, etc. You can come watch this video. But let's just give you, I can already tell you right now, the developers have created 2 games, and they kind of make fun of the entire cryptocurrency space. One is called Powh3d Quick, and one is Powh3d Long. Now, you can, take a look at the games if you want to, whatever. Will they be popular? They've been popular. Powh3d Quick, there's not a lot of activity, not a lot of people are playing that. Powh3d Long is only in the second round. We'll see. But here's the gist of what happens, basically. The game itself produces, it creates fees, basically. And a small portion of those fees from the game goes through P3D. In other words, it doesn't go to like the central authority who created the game. It goes to P3D holders. It goes back to the P3D smart contract. Now, it's separate. You don't have to have P3D to play the game. You just have to have Ethereum. But the Ethereum fee, there's a small Ethereum fee for playing, that goes through P3D holders. Let's look at, right here's marketplaces. So let's look at another reason. Let's just say that there was a marketplace. Let's just say, I don't know, one of your games right now, maybe on the Steam platform or whatever, there was a marketplace that bought or sold various products, in-game features, in-game weapons, whatever. Let's just assume they accepted P3D as payment. Now, why would they do this? Well, they could do it for a couple of reasons, but one reason they may want to do it is just like any business, all businesses need to have cash flow. So one reason that they could do this is because they could choose how much of they could take payment in P3D. Let's just say they were selling something for 10 P3D. Well, they could choose to do that, and if they did that, what would happen is they could sell those 10 P3D for cash, which can be around, depending on the Ethereum price at the time, say give or take between $5 and $10 per token. So they could sell those 10 P3D. Well, if they sold the P3D, obviously that would just give them cash flow. However, they may choose to hold on to the P3D. Why? Because just for holding the token itself, they're going to receive cash flow, rewards, earnings, dividend, whatever, in Ethereum, just for holding the tokens. So they can choose, whatever this marketplace is, can choose to sell half their P3D if they need immediate cash flow, or they can hold on to it for future cash flow down the road. Meaning, if there's not enough people buying and selling their products, what happens if they're holding one day, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 worth of P3D, and they're getting, 0.5%, 1/3% a day in cash flow? What if? That's just, we're speculating here, but this is going to provide some cash flow for them. There's other games doing this. There's a game called ETHorse, which is using the P3D API. ETHorse is not created by the P3D developers, but it's the first third-party contract. ETHorse is using the P3D API, and what they're basically doing is they're using, ETHorse has their own token called the horse token, and basically they have a game where you're basically betting. It's a gambling game. You're betting on various cryptocurrencies and which one's going to go up the most. I think they're also betting which ones can go down the most. But basically, if you win, you can win. It's a gambling game, a game of chance. However, for everyone who owns the horse token, you receive part of the earnings from the ETHorse game. However, here's what the game developers are doing with the P3D token. because game volume can't always go up or down. They're diversifying some of their returns. So what they're doing is they're using some of their earnings to buy P3D tokens. They're holding the P3D tokens, and they're returning some of the returns from P3D back to their horse token holders. So it helps provide a consistent return. Horse is an ERC20 on the Ethereum blockchain, so they pay their rewards in Ethereum as well, I believe. So if the game volume is low, on ETHHorse, then they can use some of the returns from P3D to continue to pay returns to their coin holders, to their community. And that's just, two scenarios where people are currently using and can use the P3D tokens. This project is already in development. They're already moving ahead. They're developing another game now that's going to come out. There's talks of a potential exchange where you can exchange other tokens within the P3D ecosystem. I don't know how serious those talks are. I do think that something like that will come down the road. But this is incredibly interesting. I'll put this video right at the end. Be sure to click on it, watch this full video. Comment below, let me know your thoughts. I believe the P3D Proof of Weak Hands token is one of the best projects in the cryptocurrency space, one of the best dApps in the cryptocurrency space right now at this time. Thank you for watching this series.